The PlayStation 5 will be available before the end of 2020. This much we already know. Sony have already announced that the PlayStation 5 will feature updated graphics, a dedicated SSD hard drive, backwards compatibility with PlayStation 4 games, and will come bundled with a DualShock 5, complete with haptic feedback functionality that will allow you to feel every vibration as you shoot an alien in the head with a rifle. Video games are weird. However, one thing we're still not sure about is what games we'll be able to play on the PS5. To try and shine some light on this still very much unknown aspect of the console, we've compiled a list of every PlayStation 5 game we know about at this point in time. Hi, I'm Liam from PushSquare, and this is our list of every PlayStation 5 game confirmed or rumoured. Before we start, you know the drill. If you could like this video, it would really help us out. So, currently, at the time of recording, only 7 games have been officially announced for the PlayStation 5. Out of those 7, one is a PS5 console exclusive, one is a multi-platform next-gen title, and the other 5 are cross-gen releases that will also be available for the PlayStation 4. The only console exclusive we know about currently is Godfall. Developed by Counterplay Games, creators of the excellent Duelist, RIP Sweet Prince, you're done too soon. Godfall is a high fantasy third-person action RPG and looks to combine the addictive grind for new equipment with intense third-person combat. Set to release around the same time as the PS5, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of us are jumping into the world of Godfall on the same day we unbox our shiny new consoles. After cancelling NBA Live 20, EA have announced that NBA Live 21 will be a multi-platform next-gen title for the PlayStation 5 that will focus on social connectivity, accessibility, and player creativity. As for those 5 cross-gen titles we already know about, 3 of those are Ubisoft games that were meant to launch towards the tail end of 2019, but were pushed back into late 2020 following the, let's just say the less than favourable reception to Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Yeah, I think that's fair. As a result, Watch Dogs Legion, Rainbow Six Quarantine, and Gods and Monsters will all be released on both the PS5 and the PS4. Dying Light 2 and Final Fantasy VII Remake will also launch across both systems. Final Fantasy VII is a bit of a weird one. We already know that this year's highly anticipated release is technically only the first section of the original game, concluding around the time Cloud and pals leave Midgar. I think it's safe to assume, then, that any subsequent releases will launch exclusively on the PlayStation 5, meaning some form of remastered re-release of this year's installment is surely on the horizon. Or not, I mean this is Square Enix we're talking about. It's taken them 5 years to make part 1. I wouldn't be surprised if part 2 was a launch title for the PlayStation sets. Alright, next on our list we have games that have been announced but haven't been confirmed if they'll be released on the PlayStation 5 yet. Although, let's face it, they probably will. If you're looking for a next-gen RPG to sink your teeth into, Diablo 4, The Elder Scrolls 6, The Lord of the Rings Gollum, and Starfield have all been confirmed as titles currently in development for next-gen systems. If shooting things is more your style, colourful multiplayer FPS Overwatch 2 and third-person Head Exploder Sniper Elite 5 both seem likely to be released on the PlayStation 5 as well. Both of those games are actively in development, but with no release date in sight, I think it's fair to assume they'll be coming to next-gen systems. Alternatively, if you like shooting things while pondering the ethical and philosophical nature of humanity, then you'll be happy to know that BioShock 4 will be making its way onto Sony's upcoming hardware. Announced late last year, it made sense that the game will be launching on the PlayStation 5. Then we have Project Awakening, a stunning action RPG that was announced for the PlayStation 4 in 2018. Not much is known about the project at this point, but a recent interview with developers Psy Games implies that the game is still a long way off being released, which kind of means that a PS5 release seems really likely. I'll be honest with you, I hadn't even heard of this game before I started compiling this list, but stabbing huge beasties in the head on PlayStation 5, I'm into that. So now that we've got all of the games that have been officially revealed out of the way, it's time to get to the fun part of this video. Rampant speculation! These are games that have been heavily rumoured, but have yet to be officially revealed. First up we have Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, which reportedly will take the series into the Age of Vikings. With the franchise taking a year off after the release of Odyssey, it seems a safe bet that the next installment will launch at the same time as the PlayStation 5. Given Ubisoft's history with cross-gen releases, I personally wouldn't be surprised if this launched simultaneously on the PlayStation 4 as well. It's been nearly 2 years since footage of a mysterious Harry Potter RPG surfaced online, and there's still been no official acknowledgement of its existence. This appears to suggest that this particular magic them up is headed to next-gen systems, and considering how fully formed it looked in that leaked trailer, it could potentially be a cross-gen title that coincides with the launch of the PlayStation 5, unless it's been cancelled. That's also a possibility. Wilder rumours hint that master remasterers Bluepoint Games are working on a remake of PS3 exclusive Demon's Souls, Killzone developers Guerrilla are working on some kind of multiplayer-focused title that could well be a launch game, and a brand new Sony-owned studio in San Diego are working on the next installment in the Uncharted series. I'd put good money on all 3 of these turning out to be true, especially when it comes to Uncharted. With Naughty Dog stepping away from the long-running series, it makes sense for Sony to hand over the property to a fresh studio to keep people invested in the brand. I just hope that if the game does indeed exist, it focuses on a new cast of swashbuckling adventurers instead of revisiting characters that already had a perfect send-off in Uncharted 4. Also, no prequels. Let's not do my boy dirty like that. Just let him rest. Remember the Playroom? That collection of charming little augmented reality demos that came pre-installed on every PS4? Well, rumour has it that developer Japan Studio is making a number of tech demos for the PlayStation 5 that may well end up bundled together in the form of the Playroom 2. Personally, I love little applications like this. Short, toy-like games that show off all of the new features of your shiny new console. The PlayStation Vita did this really well with Welcome Path. To the 3 people out there who had a PlayStation Vita, does anyone remember Welcome Path? Also, I think the Astrobots are an underused mascot. Give us Astrobot Rescue Mission 2, Sony, you cowards. Hey, do you know what games everyone loves? Sequels. Do you know what we'll see on the PlayStation 5? That's right, it's sequels. Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, and God of War 2. They may not have been announced quite yet, but it seems very likely that they're already in production. After all 3 titles served as genuine system sellers, establishing the PS4 as the definitive platform for the best single-player story-driven games money can buy. Fleshed out sequels that expand upon what made the original game so compelling are a great way of ensuring PS4 fans make the jump to Sony's next-gen console. Just whatever you do, Sony, don't call it God of War 2, because that would be as confusing as when Activision released a game called Call of Duty Modern Warfare on 3 separate occasions. As the PlayStation 4 nears the end of its life cycle, publishers and developers find themselves in a situation similar to that of when the PlayStation 3 was taking its final dying breaths. Do they release their game on the console that has already been on store shelves for 7 years, safe in the knowledge that the large install base will guarantee sales, or do they release exclusively on a next-gen system, risking lower sales numbers but appealing to those looking to upgrade to the latest hardware? Faced with these 2 options, most developers tend to go for both, choosing to release their game across generations in an effort to sell copies to the largest possible audience. With this in mind, I'd expect the following games that are set to release in 2020 to receive updated re-releases for the PlayStation 5 within the first 12 months of its launch. Death Stranding, Dreams, Ghost of Tsushima, and The Last of Us Part 2 are all huge PlayStation console exclusives that are releasing or have been released extremely close to the end of the PlayStation 4's life cycle. In the case of Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2, the numerous delays the games have received are surely, in part, a result of the game receiving a planned PS5 port in the near future. As for Dreams, Media Molecule's innovative video game creation tool, to lock a game that relies on its community to a console on the verge of being obsolete would be the game's downfall. After nearly 7 years in development, releasing on the PS5, perhaps as a launch game, compatible with all of the player-created levels that have been uploaded since the game's release this February, would be a smart business move and an exceptional exclusive for Sony to have as part of the console's launch lineup. And let's not forget about Cyberpunk 2077. The game, which was recently delayed until September 2020, is releasing far too close to the expected launch date of the PS5 for it to remain a PS4 title for too long. In fact, I have a very strong feeling that the most recent delay could have been made in order to ensure the game releases as a launch game for next-gen systems. Do I have any evidence to support this claim? Absolutely not. Could it be a possibility? Maybe. Alright, so we've talked about games that are definitely coming to the PlayStation 5. We've touched on games that have been announced but haven't been revealed for the console yet. We've talked about rumours and we've made some educated guesses. Now it's time to scrape the bottom of that content barrel, throw things against the wall and just see what sticks. We know From Software are working on Elden Ring, which could well be a PS5 title, but do they have any plans for Bloodborne 2? Probably not. Will we see a Nat 3? Based on the critical reception and low sales figures of Nat 2, I'd imagine the answer is a firm no. Naughty Dog traditionally works on 2 projects at a time. With development of The Last of Us 2 wrapping up and Uncharted behind them, what will the studio work on next? Part of me hopes it's Jak and Daxter 4, but a much larger and rational part of me knows that's never gonna happen. Unless Sony own Insomniac. Does that mean that will also get a Ratchet and Clank on PlayStation 5? Yeah, probably. I imagine so. Sony have already announced that the PlayStation 5 will be backwards compatible with PlayStation 4 games, but rumours suggest that the console may be backwards compatible with other generations as well. PlayStation 3 compatibility seems unlikely, due to the complexity of the system making it very difficult to emulate effectively, but I dream of a PlayStation 5 capable of playing every game I own from the PS1 all the way to the PS4. I want to play Dino Crisis 2, Sony, on a PlayStation 5. Can you please let me play Dino Crisis 2 on a 4K TV? I don't ask for a lot. Well, there we have it. Every PS5 game that's either confirmed or rumoured. Is there anything you're looking forward to? Anything you're really hoping gets announced in the run-up to launch? Anything you think we've missed? Then make your way to that comment section, leave a little message. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this video, please give that like button a cheeky little nudge and make sure to subscribe to Push Square for everything PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching.